There are two ways a man usually gets his style wrong as he gets older. He keeps dressing exactly like he did in college. Graphic tees, worn-in sneakers, whatever's trending on someone half his age. Or he panics, overcorrects, and starts dressing like he's got a board meeting every single day. Blazer on a Tuesday, dress shoes to run errands, a collar buttoned all the way up for no reason. Neither actually works. One makes him look like he never grew up. The other makes him look like he's trying so hard to prove that he did that it becomes its own kind of costume. The real goal isn't formal, and it isn't juvenile either. It's somewhere in between, a version of mature that still looks unmistakably like him. If you want to find that middle ground, subscribe to Become a Gentleman, because that's exactly what we're building today, one piece at a time. Let's start with the clothes quietly aging you down without you fully realizing it. Oversized logos across the chest, childish graphics, and novelty slogans you bought because they were funny once and never questioned again. Extremely distressed jeans, ripped in ways that read more costume than lived in. Loud streetwear covered in branding from collar to hem. Silhouettes so skinny they restrict movement, or so oversized they swallow your frame entirely. None of these items are inherently bad in isolation. Context is what matters. A graphic tee worn occasionally under a jacket still has personality. A wardrobe built entirely around graphics and branding is different, because at that point your clothing isn't expressing personality anymore. It's broadcasting an age you've already outgrown. The fix isn't stripping out all personality, it's making sure personality isn't the only thing your wardrobe knows how to say. Here's a mistake men make once they notice this, and it's often worse than the wardrobe it's replacing. They assume maturity automatically means formality. Suddenly, every outfit gets stiffer and more buttoned up than the occasion actually requires. That's overcorrection, and it reads just as try-hard as the graphic tee did, just pointed the other direction. What you actually want is elevated casual, outfits that feel relaxed but clearly considered. A polo with tailored trousers and loafers, a plain tee with straight jeans and clean sneakers. An Oxford shirt with chinos, no tie in sight. A knit polo with relaxed trousers for something softer. An overshirt layered over a plain tee with dark denim underneath. None of these require a blazer. All of them look like a grown man got dressed on purpose, not out of obligation. Underneath almost everything on this list sits one principle that matters more than the rest. Fit out performs the label every time. Shoulders sitting exactly where your shoulders actually end, not drooping past them. Sleeves stopping cleanly at the wrist instead of swallowing your hand. Trousers breaking cleanly at the shoe instead of pooling around it in a heap. No excess fabric bunching at the waist or sagging behind the knee, and nothing so tight it restricts how you sit or move. A basic, inexpensive shirt tailored to fit your actual body will consistently look sharper than an expensive shirt hanging off the wrong frame. This isn't a claim about specific prices, it's a claim about priority. Fit before branding, on any budget you're working with. Once fit is genuinely handled, color becomes the next lever, and it's where men either overthink it into paralysis or ignore it completely. A coherent palette makes dressing significantly easier. Navy, white, gray, black, cream, beige, brown, olive, dark denim, colors built to work together without much thought required. This isn't a call to eliminate color from your life, it's a call to make it intentional instead of accidental. One stronger color, a rust overshirt, a deep green jacket, a burgundy knit, can become the entire personality of an otherwise simple outfit, precisely because everything around it is controlled enough to let that one choice actually stand out. Now the piece most men consistently underestimate. Shoes shift the perceived maturity of an outfit faster than almost anything else you're wearing. Worn-out running shoes drag a whole look backward, no matter how sharp everything above the ankle happens to be. Clean, minimalist sneakers, loafers, derbies, Chelsea boots, simple leather shoes, all read as more considered as long as they're maintained and match the formality of what's above them. This has nothing to do with spending significantly more money. A clean, affordable pair will always outperform an expensive one that's scuffed and neglected. Maintenance does work that price alone can't replicate. Here's where it gets genuinely interesting, because once you strip away logos and loud branding, there's a real risk your wardrobe swings too far and becomes flat. Plain cotton basics in muted colors can look mature, or they can just look boring. And the difference almost always comes down to texture. Knit polos instead of flat cotton ones. Oxford cloth instead of basic broadcloth. Suede alongside your usual leather. Linen for warmer months. Heavyweight cotton that holds its shape. Wool in the cooler seasons. Corduroy for texture without shouting for attention. A textured overshirt thrown over something simple underneath. Texture creates genuine visual interest without needing a single logo to do the work. This is how a restrained outfit ends up looking sophisticated instead of merely plain. Accessories work along the same lines, and it's where otherwise mature wardrobes tip too far into forgettable. A watch that fits your wrist and your style. A leather belt in good condition. Simple, well-shaped sunglasses. A bracelet if it genuinely suits you. A plain ring. A leather bag for daily use. A pocket square when the occasion actually calls for one. These small, intentional details keep a restrained wardrobe from disappearing into total blandness. But restraint still matters here too. One or two considered details will always read stronger than 6 competing for attention at once. The goal was never decoration for its own sake. It's a signature detail specific enough that people start to associate it with you. At this point, it's worth asking a better question than the one most men start with. Dressing your age is too simple a framework because a 35-year-old creative and a 35-year-old in finance don't need the same wardrobe at all, even at the exact same age. The real question is what your actual life requires. Your work, your dating life, travel you actually do, social events you actually attend, your weekends, your climate, your body type, your actual taste, not one borrowed from a stranger online. A mature wardrobe reflects the life you're currently living, not a fantasy version copied wholesale from someone else's context. Some men always seem stylish without appearing to try particularly hard, and it's rarely because they own more clothes than everyone else. It's because they repeat certain elements on purpose, consistently, a color palette they keep returning to, a trouser silhouette that reliably works for their build, a signature shoe they reach for by default, a watch that's simply theirs, a haircut that doesn't dramatically change every few months, a jacket style that shows up again and again. Repetition here isn't a lack of imagination, it's exactly what builds a recognizable identity over time. People start to notice a certain look and associate it directly with you, which is a far stronger outcome than looking different and slightly unfamiliar every single time you're seen. And this brings us to the real secret underneath all of it, the idea tying every previous point together. Mature style has far less to do with adding things and far more to do with removing them. Cut the unnecessary logos that no longer represent who you actually are. Cut the trends you never truly liked. You just felt obligated to try them because everyone else was. Cut the clothes that no longer fit your current body, no matter what you originally paid for them. Cut the pieces that don't genuinely work with anything else you already own. Cut the pile of accessories competing for attention instead of supporting one clear look. Cut the outfits that simply don't suit the life you're living right now, not the one you imagined years ago. A grown man's wardrobe should feel edited, not empty, not stripped down to something dull, just edited. The way strong writing feels noticeably tighter once everything unnecessary has finally been removed. You were never actually choosing between looking like a teenager and looking boring. That was never really the decision in front of you, even though it felt that way. The sweet spot the whole time was mature without becoming formal, stylish without endlessly chasing every trend, personal without being loud about it. Looking like a grown man was never about dressing older than you actually are. It's about finally dressing like someone who knows exactly what works for him and has genuinely stopped second-guessing that every single morning. If this helped you see your own closet a little differently today, subscribe to Become a Gentleman and tell us in the comments, what's one thing sitting in your wardrobe right now that you suspect is quietly making you look younger than you actually are?